My dear students, ladies and gentlemen, okay, nice to see you again in our last lecture, number 14. Again, number 14, well, this lecture will be about, Pinocchio, but, this one will be sort of a general discussion about Pinocchio. About its origin and so and about the theme and the writer of Pinocchio. Anyway, as you remember, in 13 in the previous lecture we discussed the last 3 chapters of Pinocchio, ending with chapter 36, and just so we having the last 3 chapters, just to give you, especially the last chapter, chapter 36, just to give you an idea about the end of the novel, and how Pinocchio, the puppet, the marionette, the wooden boy, how he ends to be as a real boy after learning real lessons from the real life. Okay, so again, as you see in our lecture today, there is sort of starts with the summary of Pinocchio, and this summary is of course important, gives you a general idea about the whole story, and you have something similar to this, the story that is really sort of a summary of the whole story, put not as a summary, as a real story, but in brief, and that was I think in lecture 11, the beginning of this of the discussion about Pinocchio. So here we have a summary of Pinocchio in 2 pages. Then we come to some important historical background about Pinocchio, اللي هي Pinocchio's Pinocchio's origins. Pinocchio was originally written by Carlo Lorenzini, اللي هو known by his pen name Carlo Collodi, okay, between 1881 and 1883 in Italy. Lorenzini began his writing career in newspapers. طبعا we have these names, Italian names are not important if there are any Italian names or French names, okay, where he had used satire to express his political views. In 1875 he entered the world of children's literature and used this outlet to transmit his political convictions. Pinocchio, defining this piece of literature, this work, Pinocchio. What is Pinocchio? If you are asked to define Pinocchio, or sort of a question that that might let's say might be asked, a question that might be asked, someone may ask you a question like this. You have read Pinocchio in children's literature. What is Pinocchio? So here sort of a discussion, a definition of Pinocchio. Pinocchio is a fictional character. The story and the main character, Pinocchio, is a fictional character and the main protagonist of the children's novel The Adventures of Pinocchio by the Italian writer Carlo Collodi. Carved by a wood carver named Geppetto in a small Italian village. He was created as a wooden puppet, but dreamed of becoming a real boy. Okay, this is about Pinocchio and the story of Pinocchio and the character of Pinocchio. Okay. Aspects of Pinocchio's character vary depending on the interpretation, although the basic aspects such as his creation as a puppet by Geppetto and the size of his nose changing due to his lies or stress remain present across the various formats. Pinocchio is known for, again, this is just continuation of defining Pinocchio as a character and as a story. Okay, The Adventures of Pinocchio اللي هو the novel itself. What is The Adventures of Pinocchio? اللي هي is a novel for children by Italian author اللي هو Collodi, written in Florence. The first half was originally a serial in 1881 and 1882, then later completed as a book, okay, for children in February 1883. Okay, Pinocchio teaches many moral questions, teaching the audience, the children, many moral questions. So, this story or this novel, is meant to be for children because it teaches children a lot of moral lessons through the experiences, different experiences of Pinocchio. When the blue fairy, so for example here, when the blue fairy grants Geppetto's wish, she gives Pinocchio a few conditions. He has to prove himself. This is important. Pinocchio has to prove himself to be brave, truthful, and unselfish in order to be what? To be a real boy. The blue fairy, tells him that he needs to understand the difference between right and wrong. He needs to be a good boy. He shouldn't lie or tell lies, and he should listen to his conscience, the ضميره, to be a good person. Then these are all good things that we all, all parents, expect, their children's to learn and to experience and to practice. So the whole story is around, these concepts and these, teachings and these, moral lessons and these behaviors. Okay? So while Pinocchio is trying to show that he is brave, unselfish, and truthful, he gets tempted. Of course, that's, normal, for any person, through the course of any person's life, you get tempted. Okay, while you want to prove yourself to be a good person, brave, unselfish, truthful, right, not to tell lies, to listen to your conscience, you get tempted. يتعرض الإنسان لإغراءات دائما أثناء إثباته لنفسه أو أثناء مسيرة حياته لأن يكون شخص جيد. Okay, so he gets tempted. On the way to school مثلا, Pinocchio gives into foul fellows and guidons offer to take the easy road to success. Pinocchio learns quickly at this point. Stromboli won't let him return home to see his father, but he did not think about this before he decided to take this easy way out. When he is locked up, he can't get out himself, or even with the help of Jimmy. The only thing that can release him from the captivity is what? Is the blue fairy, the divine. Okay. Then we have on the next page here, first line here, end of the first line, he goes to a pleasure island, which is a place with no school knowledge, and no, school symbolizes knowledge, no laws or laws اللي هو morals, and kids are free to eat, drink, smoke, fight, and destroy all, destroy at will what they, the way they want to do. Okay, that was, how, Pinocchio was first before becoming a real boy. Okay, now we come to an important also point here. We were discussing, or just, discussing the main, or giving some focus on the main and major characters. We have three major, more than three major characters. We have Pinocchio as the protagonist, the main character. Okay. Of course, now we know about Pinocchio as a naughty pinewood marionette who gains wisdom through a series of misadventures, which lead him to becoming a real boy, a real human, as a reward for his good deeds. So Pinocchio is as a main character. Pinocchio is also the title, the little wooden puppet who was brought to life from Geppetto's wish. He is trying to become a real boy with the help of his friend, conscious Jiminy Cricket. Then the second character here we have Mr. Geppetto, the father, who was the elderly, person who creates and who carved, wood carver, who carved, Pinocchio. Geppetto is an elderly, impoverished wood carver and the creator, who was thus the father of Pinocchio. Geppetto is Pinocchio's creator. Okay, he has always wanted a son, and because of his extreme generosity, his wish for a son is granted. Geppetto is a very devoted father, as he attempted to teach Pinocchio valuable lessons. Okay, then next character we have Mr. Antonio, elderly carpenter. Okay, then we have the talking cricket, اللي هو cricket whom Pinocchio kills after it tries to give him some advice. Then we have next اللي هو Jiminy Cricket, the loyal friend of and conscience to Pinocchio. Then we have the serpent, اللي هو an enormous snake with a smoking tail. Then we have the blue fairy, اللي هي this is important, is one of the is the one who fulfills Geppetto's wish, transforms Pinocchio into a living creature, a real boy, and later into a real boy. Okay, she اللي هي the blue fairy, she helps Pinocchio and Jiminy out of tough situation, out of rough, tough, hard situations. She is the one who teaches Pinocchio the moral lessons of being a good boy. Okay, so this character, of course, is very important, and the main one, because it's through this character, Pinocchio learns directly a lot of moral lessons, and he is transferred to be a real boy. The blue fairy, graceful and elegant, who blue fairy came from the wishing star and granted Pinocchio life because Geppetto wished for it to be so. She has charged Jiminy Cricket as Pinocchio's official conscience and has set him the task of helping Pinocchio to become a real boy. Okay, so that's all about the characters of Pinocchio. And then last and not least, here one of the most important points to discuss in Pinocchio, اللي هو is the moral lessons that we, the readers, learn from this novel. Okay, so which is what we call the theme. And as you know, at the end of reading any literary work, any piece of literature, at the end of the discussion, we always come to the question that, asks about the theme of this work. So what is the theme of this work, of any piece of literature? So here we come to the question, what is the theme of Pinocchio? What is the theme of this novel? Some of the themes in the play Pinocchio are, of course, when we talk about the theme of a work, we don't have just one exact theme. We usually have, many different themes about, one work. Okay, and themes should be relevant to the topic of the novel, and they should be, usually they should be in form of a sentence, form of a statement, and they are inferred from the work. It's not something that you find stated literally in the piece of literature. So the theme is, if you want to define the word theme, what is a theme? A theme is the moral lesson that you learn after reading a piece of literature. It is the message that the writer wants to deliver to the readers. Okay, it is also what? It is the central idea that the whole novel or the whole story or the whole piece of literature, goes about or goes around. So, what is the theme of Pinocchio? Some of the themes, so that means there are many others. That there are many other themes that you can also think about. Some of the themes in the play in the play Pinocchio were the novel. Unconditional love, so you have to love other people, or people should love each other unconditionally, without conditions, not to restrict or to put conditions to love other people. That is not, real love. So unconditional love, the meaning of being a human. Okay, to be a human being has a meaning. It's just not anyone, can be a real human just for being, someone who looks like a human being. So, what it means to be a real human, and that's what happens to Pinocchio. Okay, he becomes a real human being after a long, trip, and doing a lot of things, and then a lot of doing, a lot of good doings. He ends up being a real human. A real boy. And then number three, determination of what is right and wrong. Determination of what is right and wrong. To know what is right and wrong. Okay, how to differentiate between right and wrong, and to take the right path and to be away from the wrong path. Other themes. Okay, besides these three, other themes were the role of moderation in helping us live happy lives, and the importance of education to our success in life. The importance of education to our life. So these are some of the themes of Pinocchio, which are very important, and you can also think of some more of these, themes for yourselves, but you have to be relevant to the topic, to the general topic of the novel. Okay, so please, again, I emphasize that you please read the chapters assigned for this course. You have to know the details of each story, not only Pinocchio and the other short ones, okay, because there might be and there will be questions about some details, especially the important details and parts of the stories assigned for this course in the final exam. So that's all for today, and wish you happy time, and hope you enjoyed this course with me. Still, this is not the end of it, as I said before. There is still a chance for you to contact with me through my email till the end of the course for any question related to the material. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again in other courses. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.